That's the note. Thank you.
Here it is, here.
All right. Perfect.
You have it from here?
Yeah. Yep.
Sorry.
Good evening, and welcome to the regular meeting of the Town of Winchester Zoning Board of Appeals for Tuesday, April 25th, called to order at 7:02 p.m. and held in the Francis Hicks Room at the Town of Winchester Town Hall, and also broadcast on YouTube TV. Present tonight, regular members Paul Marino, John Pollock, Aubrey English, Ron Dew, and Ellie Gunn. The way our board works is you're going to have an opportunity to present your application during the public hearing portion of our meeting. To get approval on your application, you need 4 of the 5 members to vote in the affirmative. A simple majority does not carry. It requires 4 affirmative votes. The format will be, we will call up your application, you'll come up, you'll tell us about your project. Typically, the board will have some questions for you. If there are any members of the public, we will open it up to anybody who would like to speak to your application. We'll give you the opportunity to have any final comments, and then we'll close the public hearing, and the board will have an opportunity to discuss the application and vote on it. You will have an answer this evening before you leave. So with that, we will call the first application, which is ZBA 235326 at 221 West Wakefield Boulevard. The applicant is Denise Pratt, owner Kenneth and Eleanor Pratt. And this is for a variance for impervious surface for an addition. So come on up. If you would please state your name and address for the record, whoever's going to be presenting. So both of you, please.
I assume we sit here.
You can.
Yeah. Thanks for seeing us tonight. My name is Dwayne Dute. I've been speaking with the Pratts for a while now.
Just your address, sir?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yes.
1629 Mountain Road in Torrington.
Okay. And you are?
Denise Pratt, 219 West Wakefield Boulevard.
Okay. Before we get started, Lance, do we have the proper notices and certificate of mailings? Procedures.
Definitely a legal notice.
I saw the sign, so I...
Emailed Pam the certificate, and I think I have the hard copy in my wallet if you'd like me
The
to.
post office certificates?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's helpful.
If you have it, that would
Yeah,
be helpful.
yeah, it is. I can pull it up on my phone as well. If you need that. Thanks.
Do you need a copy of
No, I scanned it and emailed it to Pam, and
Okay.
so
It's in there.
I'm okay
it? Okay, thank you.
trusting it with you.
Thank you. Now that we have that out of the way,
Yeah.
please continue.
We've been in discussion with Kenneth and Eleanor over the last year or so. Kind of figuring out what the best move for them is going to be. They're aged. I think they're in their early 90s now, and the big problem right now is navigating stairs. So the addition that we're proposing is all on this one floor, and it will make them so that they would be able to stay in their house for the foreseeable future.
Understood. Okay. So we're putting an addition, and I think in the application it talks about side yard setbacks are non-issue. This is simply a variance for 1.7% additional impervious coverage. Are there driveways on the property exactly, or
So there's-
asphalt driveways on the property?
So on the survey map, there's an asphalt driveway, and then the way the property is set up, there's a gravel driveway that goes around the side of the back barn structure. And that makes it for easy access for both of them as because they can drive right up to their walk to get into their house.
I asked the question only because it's so close to meeting the requirements that a slight modification to even, one end or the other of the driveway could eliminate this 1.7. And
The problem is that the side that the asphalt is on is a tougher turn to get into that area. And the way the barn is, there's a ramp coming out of the barn, that's on the back of the property. So that, because we thought about, trying to eliminate that, but it'll end up being really muddy right there because he drives his lawnmower and stuff and tractor.
yeah,
through that.
my only point was, any part of the asphalt that you have in terms of these driveways that you change to either impervious asphalt or pavers, pervious asphalt, pervious pavers, I apologize, wouldn't take much to eliminate the additional impervious coverage is all. I was curious if any thought had gone into trying to do something along those lines.
So the pavers is that impervious or is that?
There are impervious pavers. I'm sorry, let me rephrase that. I keep getting it backwards. There are pervious pavers as well as pervious asphalt. For example, the new medical building up by Route 8, if you were to drive through their parking lot, the part you drive on is impervious, but the parking spaces are pervious asphalt. And they did that to try to reduce the amount of impervious coverage when they were building that facility. So again, I'm just asking whether any thought, it wouldn't, with such a small percentage, it wouldn't take, a lot. Your engineer could tell you it might be, 6 feet of your driveway changed to, an apron at the bottom that's made out of pavers, or the part by your house where the driveway meets the house made out of pavers that would be decorative and also meet the impervious requirement. Just a thought. So.
I'm getting confused on the pervious, impervious. So the driveway in the back, it's a U shape for a lack, there's an apron, but
It's
some of
asphalt, right?
Some of it, and some of it's gravel.
So
So,
it's interesting. So if you have, and I'm going to ask the question, it's because round stone is not considered impervious, right? It's only trap rock that's considered impervious.
Correct.
Because
And
in
it's-
our regulation regarding gravel is interesting because a certain type of stone, if I remember this correctly, is considered impervious even though it's stone. There are stones, I'm guessing, that are considered pervious.
Right.
You know that?
Yeah, I mean, you're nailing it with the gravel being considered impervious because it's not giving the rainwater a chance to permeate through into the groundwater again. It's just running off. If you have like thicker, I think they consider that more of a pervious stone, but usually it's an engineered system where you actually have a base underneath it. So it's not just one layer, it's kind of goes down quite a bit. A little more engineered. It is an expensive system, but it does work. When it works well, it works very well. And then there's a little bit of a maintenance side of it. Unfortunately, you got to keep it clear from silt and salt and
yeah.
winter.
We've been
So-
fortunate, the way it happens to be positioned, there isn't, runoff tennis shoes or whatever, you know, but it is, I don't know. I mean, 50% asphalt, 50% gravel, roughly,
Of that,
you know.
yeah.
Yeah, I only asked the question again because you're so close to meeting
Mhm.
the impervious coverage requirement that, you know, if you took, and I'm gonna make up the number, 6 feet of asphalt and converted it to a paver or a pervious asphalt, you'd probably meet the requirement like that. Again, I don't know if it's 6
It's
feet,
about
10 feet, or 2
600
feet.
square feet that we're talking about.
Right, yeah.
So asphalt, that'd be about 60 feet of asphalt. If it's 10 feet wide, you've got 60 feet.
So we're 600 square feet, is that, I didn't look at the numbers, that's the
Yeah,
number?
It's about 600
Got it.
square feet of differential to meet the,
Okay. So it would be, you may not have 60 feet of asphalt then anyway.
I don't think that, and the other thing that I see as a really potential problem is that when you look at the grade of the land, in that area, there's a lot of pitch in that part. I think he has the contours and the elevations on the plan.
Yeah.
So it'd be difficult to do it that way.
Okay. You answered my question. Thank you. Any other questions?
I was just looking at some of these drawings. Did you draw these yourself, Dwayne, or?
I did.
Because sometimes we get drawings that are in more detail and they encompass the whole picture. I was just wondering, it's gonna be attached to the old house from what I see on the survey here, is that correct?
That is correct, yeah. It's
And-
on the back corner of the old house.
Right. So we have pictures of the old house and then we have a drawing.
This corner?
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, that
So it's
back
gonna go
corner,
This
the
back
rear
corner.
of the house
Right.
and that side corner.
Do you think we should have an architect draw?
This is not gonna be a separate apartment, it's just simply an addition.
No, this is an addition, 2 bedrooms and a bathroom.
No. Any other questions? Okay. Is there anybody from the public who would like to speak to this application? Not hearing anyone, we will close it to the public part of the hearing. And any final comments, thoughts, or anything else you'd like us to know? Okay. Then at this time, we will close the public hearing on this application. And Lance, do we have a motion?
So embarrassing. Thank goodness you guys are kind. So I believe it would read, and maybe because you've done this more, Section G, Highland Lake District. Section 2, impervious surfaces, and then impervious surface variance for an addition of, what was the point?
So it should be, hang on a second.
Sorry.
So it's a motion for a variance of section G. .II impervious surfaces.
Yep. And then I wasn't sure if there's any, you said there was something else referenced for the specific, what they're asking for in the variance. So we need to know
Yeah. Do you have any of the previous motions?
Give me about 2 more seconds, I can pull it up.
Okay,
Since we
sorry.
have 2 applicants, Karen's so good. I'll be right back. Let's see if I can find them from last time.
You know, that's the one thing I would probably want to add.
We've actually closed the public hearing at this point, I'm sorry. Just looking to see if I had a motion, an old motion in here. Apologize for the delay.
So of course, that I can quickly put my hands on is the super ugly marked up one from last time, but it does have at least the language.
All right, let me just look at the regs quick. Okay, so it would seem to me we will make a motion to grant a variance from section 2.g .ii for impervious surface in the amount of 1.7% for the property located at 221 West Wakefield Boulevard as per the plans submitted. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? John, did you have anything?
No, I did it.
Okay. Then we will put it to a vote. All in favor of granting the variance signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? Congratulations.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
My parents, thank you. I'll call them short.
How many years in that house?
Well, my grandparents, 1941, and then my parents took it over in 56. So I think the Trobs have us beat.
They
Yeah.
do, 113 years, I think they
Yeah.
have, right?
But, yeah, 1941, so we've got our 5th generation, if you will, coming out to swim and stuff.
How many generations? So fourth
So-
generation?
5,
Five.
actually. It's now my parents have great-grandchildren that are coming out to tube and whatnot.
That's awesome.
Least you all can do, guys.
Sorry about,
Least you all can do for them.
Yes.
oh, you nailed it. Yeah,
It's a gorgeous
well
spot.
put. Thank you.
It is.
It always has been.
It is.
If it's starting to lose any appeal, it's my fault, because now I'm doing the mowing and whatnot. My dad's
So we'll know
not-
who to come see.
Yes, if you have any complaints. Thank you again.
You're welcome. All right, moving on, ZBA 23-5327 for a variance at 229 Perch Rock Trail. Applicant is Karen Marie Borla, is that how you say it?
Yes.
Okay, and this is for impervious coverage, a rear yard setback, a side yard setback variance for a 12 by 13 covered porch and a 400 square foot patio. Tell us about it.
Has been noticed.
Okay, has been noticed, thank you.
Do you have the?
Oh, nope, I need that, thank you.
Um, Well, I'd like to remove the existing porch, which is in disrepair and, just looking over the notes. And it's tiny, in my opinion. There's not a lot of room inside. So as I'm going to do that, I would like to expand it 2 feet out in 2 directions. When I, so when I do that, it does not meet the rear setback on the east of the east of the property. I don't believe the setbacks change, but the side setbacks change, as a result of what I'm doing for the covered porch.
This is quite an interesting property shape.
It is, it's,
Are you putting in a shed too? Is that
I'm
part of
taking
this?
the shed out and replacing it.
And the new shed's getting larger?
No. No, I believe he's just showing the green, he didn't put it on top, he
I
just
see.
set it
Moving it away a little bit?
away a little bit. And then the patio off the back of the covered porch, and equally south of it as well, kind of wrapping around.
So the new covered porch will be 12 by 13.
Correct.
We don't know what the dimensions are on this of the old one, but,
It should be on there, or there's a plan also of the porch. Excuse me. Yeah, I do. It was 8 feet 9 inches by. May I?
yes.
I thought you guys had. Oh, you do, you have that. The porch is, the existing is. So sorry. 8'9" by 11, and it's going to 11 by 13.
John, you have this elevation? We have this in the packet?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
That's okay,
Thank you.
that's okay.
Okay. I was just looking at the site plan.
Oh, on the site plan,
Yeah.
yeah. So, yeah, it's just bumping out 2 feet each way. And the reason I like to do that is to give myself a little bit more space to put some furniture in that room, rather than, just a couple lawn chairs.
Is this a year-round residence?
It is.
Okay. Because you just mentioned that you're gonna have a 3-season sun porch.
It's a 3-season sun
Yes,
porch,
okay.
yeah.
Any other questions?
The neighbors are all in agreement on this, there's no problem.
I haven't heard anybody have any complaints about it.
I'm a And-
neighbor, I don't have a
Oh.
And your neighbor Janet,
They-
who came for the
Yep.
fences, did not
No,
inquire about
How
this.
close
so-
are you?
Me?
Yes.
2 houses
2
down.
houses down.
Did you get a notice?
each other in this.
And you're good with voting on this one?
Unless you don't want me to.
You know the relationship, so I'm just,
I have no problem with voting
okay,
on this.
excellent.
Say conflict of interest or nothing like that, so nothing.
Say that again?
You don't say conflict of interest or nothing like that at all?
No, I don't. And if I did, I'd say so.
Okay.
Very
Yes,
good.
you would.
I would.
Yes, you would.
Ronnie knows.
With that, I see no one in the public who would like to comment on your application. Any final thoughts for us?
No, I hope you'll accept it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And with that, we will close the public hearing on this application, and we will cobble together yet another motion, Lance.
No, I'm sorry. Just ask one quick question, Karen.
Yes.
Did Pam end up mentioning when she did the calculations what your coverage is over by?
It's,
Is it in
it's
there?
on the site.
Oh, okay.
It's 16.5 now, and it's 19.4 now. We can't ask any other questions, so we've closed the public hearing, but we can
Oh,
discuss
do
it.
you have the-
Yes, as a matter of
19
fact, Lance, I can.
19.4?
It's at 16.5, and she's looking for 19.4 on the impervious coverage. The setback ask is 7 feet.
Okay, thank you. I'll let you do your magic, but if you wanna do this one, it would be on there.
Yeah, so this is we need a couple of different,
Is there another reference?
there's
in
impervious,
section?
there's also gonna be a reference to the setback.
Oh, okay. So that one.
So that's gonna be, so that's gonna be, so it's going to be section
Maybe
2
Okay.
dot G dot
B.
B, correct, for building dimensions and placement, dot II for, I better write this down. So it's going to be G dot B, and then it's II for building placement, and then it's also G dot B dot II for impervious. If I read that correctly? Okay. So, a motion for a variance from section G dot B dot II for a rear yard setback of 7 feet and a variance to G dot B dot II for impervious coverage of where'd I put that?
19, I just wrote it down.
Of 2.9%. For the property located at 229 Perch Rock Trail and per the plans submitted. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? With that, we will put it to a vote. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
There you go.
Thank you. What's your next project?
This is enough.
Just say one disaster at a time.
Yes, I'm already pondering my next one.
What are you doing?
Oh, I'm having all kinds of fun up there as well.
It's good times,
Yes.
good times.
All right. Regarding the minutes from our last regular meeting, thank you. Have a great evening.
Oh, yeah, thank you. Sorry you didn't get a chance to review them before. Good night, Karen, thank you.
So the approval of the minutes typically has specific notes for the record, specifically because these minutes are posted,
Yep.
and people do refer back to them for previous applications, precedents, all of that sort of thing.
Would you like to hold, oh, sorry. Would you like to hold off until?
Yeah, I think I would entertain a motion to hold off approving the minutes from the last meeting of March 28th, so that we can get a proper, detailed copy of the minutes for our next meeting. So we'll need minutes from March 29th as well as this evening. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. All opposed? So Lance, yeah, we need to get the details on, I don't
You
think.
want them ahead of time? You're so demanding. Yeah,
I
I
know.
really apologize. And I'll take full credit. I dropped the ball on that and then went on vacation, and then, of course, Pam and I haven't really had a chance to reconnect.
Yeah, I mean,
So-
I hate to be a nag,
No.
but
Deserved
having these
nags.
motions
Yeah,
with
yeah.
all the proper
You have
regulations
to have it.
is important.
Yeah,
Right.
I mean, it's a,
Especially if we have more than two or something like that. If you have
Right.
6 or
So that
7,
could've
it'd
got
be
ugly.
unbelievable.
I mean, I kind of like, the first meeting you were at said, okay, we're getting our feet wet here and you're
Right.
learning the whole thing. And then the second one, we had it. This is the third go around. We gotta,
Right.
so I can come down and sit with you guys and we can talk about, how to get this stuff done again. But it's challenging for the flow of the meeting. It makes us look
Yes.
not terribly on top of our game to
That's on me.
be
And I've
trying to
been
color these together.
taking it for granted that Pam's been putting everything together, and pretty much I'm just appearing now. I don't know if you guys know this, but Pam has actually accepted the assistant tax collector position. So she will be training her replacement, and I would definitely be involved with that. So we'll make sure we are all on the same page of
Okay.
how the process works.
I mean, these have been smooth for years, and she knows very
Yeah.
well the preparation needed to make these meetings go very smoothly. So I would love, and if you want me to come down and visit, or any of us to come down and visit and talk about what's happening, great. But we've got to get back to if possible, get back to.
Mr. Chairman, if I could make an addition on that too.
Yes.
I've been having to bite my tongue on the fact that we are having to scribble out our motions for the last couple meetings. I mean, and I understand there's a big transition going on, but, I mean, we have like a month's time, between meetings here. There's no reason we should not have that motion with the regulations in there, already printed out, ready to go, because it seems like half of each of these applications is trying to, scribble out what the motion is. And I just, if we can also do that too, that would be greatly
Yep.
appreciated.
Yeah, and what makes me uncomfortable, Lance, I don't know if we have them right. I mean,
You can say that again, just
Yeah.
pulling it out of the
pulling
sky.
these,
It's,
I don't know if we have them
Right.
right, so it's important that we get that flow back and get these things.
Yep.
And yes, sorry, but having the minutes in the packets from the previous meeting, so we could read them and not take time
Yeah.
reading them here to approve them would be also great. And again, you're still new, and there's Pam's transitioning, I get it. But maybe for our May meeting.
May, we'll get it all
We can be
straight and
like a
correct.
Swiss watch once again.
That would be good.
Yes, it would. All right, any correspondence?
None. Nope.
Great. I would take a motion to adjourn.
so moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
I do have a question for now that we're
Off the
Off the
record.
record.
Can we turn the TV off?
Yeah, Larry.
Shall we shut the,
Shut YouTube off there for a second too. Thank you to all those who are watching tonight.
5 here.